First contact and underestimation. The vast expanse of space had always beckoned humanity, a siren call that whispered of endless possibilities and untold wonders. But as the crew of the Earth's first interstellar vessel, the ESS Horizon, dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of an uncharted solar system, they realized that some of those possibilities came with sharp teeth and sharper tongues. Captain Sarah Chen squinted at the main view screen, her dark eyes narrowing as she took in the sight before her. A massive alien vessel hung in space, easily dwarfing the horizon. Its sleek, silvery hull seemed to shimmer and shift, as if it were made of liquid metal rather than any solid material. "Are you seeing this?" she breathed, glancing at her second-in-command, Commander Jackson Wei. Wei nodded, his usually stoic expression betraying a hint of awe. "I'm seeing it, Captain, but I'm not sure I'm believing it." Before Chen could respond, the ship's communication officer, Lieutenant Amora Saleh, called out from her station. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the alien vessel. They're speaking English." Chen raised an eyebrow. "Put it through, Lieutenant." The view screen flickered, and suddenly they were face to face with an alien being. Its skin was a pale lavender, with iridescent scales that caught the light. Multiple pairs of eyes blinked at them, set in a face that was vaguely insectoid, but possessed an undeniable intelligence. "Greetings, humans," the alien said, its voice a melodious hum that seemed to vibrate through the air. "I am High Commander Zix Carey of the Galactic Confederation. We've been expecting you." Chen straightened her uniform, acutely aware that she was representing all of humanity in this moment. "Greetings, High Commander. I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth-ship Horizon. We come in peace and friendship." The alien's mandibles twitched in what might have been amusement. Peace and friendship. How quaint. "Tell me, Captain Chen, do you always venture into the unknown with such limited defenses?" Chen felt a flicker of unease. "Our mission is one of exploration and scientific discovery, High Commander. We're not looking for conflict." Zix Carey's multiple eyes blinked in unison. "No, I suppose you wouldn't be. Not with technology as primitive as yours. Tell me, do you still rely on combustion engines and projectile weapons?" The dismissive tone in the alien's voice was unmistakable. Chen felt her crew bristling around her, but she kept her cool. "Our technology has served us well, High Commander. We may be new to interstellar travel, but we've overcome every challenge we've faced so far." "Indeed." Zix Carey's mandibles clicked together. "Well, consider this your first real challenge, then. You will accompany us to our nearest outpost. We have much to discuss about your species' place in the galactic community." Chen's eyes narrowed. "With all due respect, High Commander, we have our own mission objectives. We're not obligated to." "You misunderstand, Captain," Zix Carey interrupted, all pretense of politeness vanishing. "This is not a request. Your ship is now under the protection and control of the Galactic Confederation. Resist, and we will be forced to demonstrate just how outmatched you truly are." As if to emphasize the point, several smaller craft detached from the massive alien vessel, taking up positions around the horizon. Chen's tactical officer, Lieutenant Ravi Kapoor, spoke up urgently. "Captain, those ships are powering up weapon systems. Our shields won't stand a chance against that kind of firepower." Chen gritted her teeth, weighing her options. They were hopelessly outgunned, that much was clear. But to simply roll over and submit to alien authority, that went against everything she believed in, everything humanity stood for. "Very well, High Commander," she said at last, her voice tight. "We'll comply, for now." Zix Carey's mandibles twitched again. "A wise decision, Captain. Perhaps your species isn't entirely without reason after all." The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge of the horizon in stunned silence. Chen turned to her crew, seeing a mix of fear, anger, and determination on their faces. "All right, people," she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her gut. "This isn't how we expected first contact to go, but we're not out of the game yet. We've got the greatest minds Earth has to offer on this ship. Let's show these aliens what humanity is really capable of. As the Horizon was escorted deeper into the alien solar system, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were flying into the unknown. But then again, wasn't that what they had set out to do in the first place? The journey to the Galactic Confederation outpost took several hours, during which the crew of the Horizon worked feverishly to analyze every scrap of data they could gather about their alien hosts. Captors. The line seemed blurry at best. Dr. Ilara Voss, the ship's chief scientist, pored over sensor readings with an intensity that bordered on mania. "Captain," she called out, her voice tight with excitement and concern, "you need to see this." Chen made her way to the science station, where Voss had pulled up a detailed schematic of one of the alien escort ships. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" "Their power generation," Voss said, pointing to a pulsing core at the center of the schematic. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen. They're harnessing energy directly from subspace fluctuations. The potential output is, well, it's orders of magnitude beyond our most advanced reactors." Chen frowned. "And their weapons?" Voss shook her head. "Based on the energy signatures we're detecting, they could vaporize us without breaking a sweat. But that's not even the most interesting part." She pulled up another set of readings. "Their hull material, it's some kind of adaptive alloy. It can change its molecular structure on the fly, becoming harder or more flexible as needed. So they're not just more advanced," Shen mused. "They're playing a whole different game." "Exactly," Voss agreed. "But Captain, there's something else. These readings, they're not consistent. It's like their technology is constantly shifting, adapting. Almost as if..." "As if what, Doctor?" Voss met Chen's eyes, her expression grave. "As if they're preparing for something big." Before Chen could respond, the ship shuddered slightly as they dropped out of FTL travel. The view screen lit up with the sight of a massive space station, its architecture a blend of organic curves and impossible geometries that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "Welcome to Outpost Zeta 9, High Commander Zix Carey's voice crackled over the comms. "Prepare to be boarded. Your senior staff will be brought before the Confederation Council to discuss your species' future." Chen exchanged glances with her officers. This was it, the moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. As they prepared to face the unknown, she couldn't help but wonder. Had they come all this way just to become a footnote in some alien history book? The docking procedure was swift and efficient, the alien technology guiding the Horizon into a berth with a precision that made their own navigation systems look clumsy by comparison. As the airlock cycled, Chen stood at the head of her senior staff, her back straight and her chin high. Whatever happened next, they would face it with dignity. The airlock hissed open, revealing a delegation of aliens. Some resembled Zix Carey, with their lavender scales and multiple eyes, while others were so bizarre in appearance that Chen's mind struggled to make sense of them. One seemed to be made entirely of shifting geometric shapes, while another looked like a sentient cloud of glowing gas. High Commander Zix Carey stepped forward, flanked by two beings that Chen assumed was some kind of honor guard. Their bodies were encased in sleek, silvery armor that seemed to flow like liquid metal. "Captain Chen," Zix Carey said, mandibles clicking. "You and your senior staff will come with us. The rest of your crew will remain on your ship under guard. Do not attempt any foolish heroics. It would be unfortunate if we had to demonstrate our superiority in a more forceful manner." Chen nodded stiffly. "Understood, High Commander. Lead the way." As they were escorted through the space station, Chen and her officers couldn't help but gape at the sheer scale and complexity of alien technology on display. Holographic interfaces flickered in and out of existence, responding to thought commands from passing aliens. Gravity seemed to shift and change at will, with some corridors allowing them to walk on the walls or ceiling. "Impressive, isn't it?" Zix Carey said, noticing their awe. "This outpost is but a small taste of what the Galactic Confederation has achieved. Your species has much to learn if you hope to find a place among us." Chen bit back a retort, reminding herself that diplomacy was key here. They needed to understand these aliens to find common ground if they had any hope of securing a future for humanity among the stars. Finally, they arrived at a vast chamber that Chen could only assume was some kind of council room. Tiered seating surrounded a central platform, each tier occupied by aliens of varying species. At the highest point sat a being that seemed to be composed entirely of pure energy, its form barely contained within a shimmering force field. Esteemed members of the Confederation Council, Zix announced, his voice carrying easily through the chamber. I present to you the representatives of humanity, a newly discovered species from the Outer Rim. A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens. Some leaned forward with interest, while others recoiled as if the humans were carrying some contagious disease. The energy being at the top of the chamber pulsed brightly, and a voice echoed in Chen's mind. Welcome, humans. I am the Grand Arbiter of the Galactic Confederation. Your arrival has been long anticipated. Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. On behalf of humanity, we thank you for this audience. We come seeking peaceful coexistence and the exchange of knowledge. The Grand Arbiter's form flickered. Noble sentiments. But tell us, Captain Chen, what does humanity bring to the Confederation? What value do you offer that we do not already possess in abundance? Chen faltered for a moment, acutely aware of the vast technological gulf between their civilizations. What could humanity possibly offer beings who could reshape matter at will and harness the power of subspace? But then she thought of Earth's history, of the countless times humanity had faced seemingly insurmountable odds and emerged victorious through sheer determination and ingenuity. We bring perseverance, she said, her voice growing stronger. We bring creativity and adaptability. Humanity has faced extinction-level events multiple times in our history, and each time we've come back stronger. We've turned our weaknesses into strengths, our failures into stepping stones. She gestured to her crew. Look at us. We're not the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced. But we're here, standing before you, having crossed the vast gulf of space with technology you consider primitive. If we can do that, imagine what we could achieve as part of your confederation. The chamber fell silent, the aliens regarding the humans with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Then, without warning, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a massive fleet of ships dropping out of FTL at the edge of the system. Impossible, Zix exclaimed, his composure cracking for the first time. They can't have found us here. The Grand Arbiter's form pulsed urgently. It's the Void Hunters. They've tracked us to this outpost. All ships, prepare for immediate evacuation. We cannot allow them tow. The transmission cut off as the station rocked with the first impacts of enemy fire. Chen grabbed onto a nearby railing to steady herself, her mind racing. Void Hunters. Was this the threat that Dr. Voss had sensed the aliens preparing for? As chaos erupted around them, with Confederation aliens scrambling to battle stations or evacuation points, Chen locked eyes with her crew. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. This was their chance, not just to prove their worth, but to show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. High Commander, Chen called out, her voice cutting through the pandemonium. Your people are under attack. Let us help. We may not have your technology, but we have experience in thinking outside the box. Give us a chance to prove our worth. Zix hesitated, multiple eyes blinking rapidly as he weighed his options. Another blast rocked the station, and alarms blared even louder. Very well, human, he said at last. Show us what you can do. But know this, if you betray us, your entire species will pay the price. Chen nodded grimly. Understood. Now, let's save this station and kick some Void Hunter ass. As they raced towards the command center, Chen couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement beneath the fear and tension. This was it, humanity's baptism by fire on the galactic stage. and she'd be damned if they were going to fail. The unthinkable alliance. The command center of Outpost Zeta 9 was a hive of frantic activity as Captain Sarah Chen and her crew burst through the doors, led by the now flustered High Commander Zix Carey. Holographic displays flickered with real-time battle data, showing the encroaching Void Hunter fleet as an ominous mass of red dots against the black backdrop of space. Status report. Zix Carey demanded, his mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. A gelatinous alien that seemed to be made entirely of translucent blue goo oozed forward, its voice gurgling from somewhere within its amorphous form. High Commander, the Void Hunters have deployed their quantum disruptors. Our shields are failing, and our weapons are barely making a dent in their nano-adaptive hulls. Chen's mind raced, taking in the alien technology around her. Despite its apparent superiority, it was clear that the Confederation was outmatched. But where others saw hopelessness, she saw opportunity. "Commander Wei," she called out, "what do you make of their attack pattern?" Wei studied the holographic display, his eyes narrowing. "It's familiar, Captain. Reminds me of the Prussian infantry tactics from Earth's 18th century. They're using a refused flank maneuver, but in 3 dimensions." Chen nodded, a plan already forming. Exactly. They're relying on overwhelming force and superior technology, but their strategy is predictable. We can use that against them. She turned to Zix Carey, who was regarding her with a mixture of desperation and skepticism. "High Commander, we need to think unconventionally. Your quantum shields and photon torpedoes aren't cutting it. What else do you have in your arsenal?" Zix Carey's multiple eyes blinked in rapid succession. "We have. Well, it's experimental, but we've been developing gravity wells. Artificial singularities that can warp space-time itself, but they're unstable, unpredictable." A grin spread across Chen's face. "Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Dr. Voss, what would happen if we created a series of gravity wells in a specific pattern around the Void Hunter fleet?" The scientist's eyes lit up with understanding. "If we position them correctly, we could create a hyperbolic metamaterial lattice. It would effectively turn the space around their fleet into a sort of cosmic mirror maze." "Precisely," Chen nodded. "They'll be fighting their own reflections, unable to distinguish real targets from false ones. But we need more. Lieutenant Kapoor, what's the most unorthodox weapon in Earth's history that you can think of?" Kapoor furrowed his brow. "Well, there was the Bat Bomb project in World War II. The idea was to release bats carrying tiny incendiary devices over enemy cities." "Bats," Zix Carey interjected, confusion evident in his voice. "What are bats?" "Flying mammals," Chen explained quickly. "But that's not important. What's important is the concept. We need to think smaller, more numerous. High Commander, do you have any form of self-replicating nanobots?" Zix Carey's mandibles twitched. "We do, but they're strictly controlled. The potential for Grey Goo scenarios is too high." "Not if we give them a specific target and a built-in kill switch," Chen countered. "Here's what we're going to do. We'll use the gravity wells to create our cosmic mirror maze. Then, we'll launch a swarm of nanobots programmed to target the Void Hunter's propulsion systems. They'll think it's some kind of space debris at first, but by the time they realize the threat, it'll be too late." The alien command staff stared at her in stunned silence. It was Zix Carey who finally spoke. "This plan, it's insane, reckless, completely against all established protocols of space warfare." Chen met his gaze steadily. "Exactly. That's why it'll work. The Void Hunters are expecting you to fight like you always have. They're not prepared for human unpredictability." For a long moment, the fate of both their species hung in the balance. Then, slowly, Zix Carey nodded. "Very well, Captain Chen. We'll do it your way. May the cosmic forces have mercy on us all." What followed was a frenzy of activity unlike anything the Confederation had ever seen. Gravity well generators were hastily reprogrammed, their carefully calculated outputs thrown into controlled chaos. Nanobot fabricators whirred to life, churning out trillions of microscopic machines imbued with a singular purpose: survival. As the plan came together, Chen couldn't help but reflect on the strange turns of fate that had brought them to this moment. Hours ago, they had been dismissed as primitive, barely worth noticing. Now, the fate of an entire alien civilization rested on human ingenuity. "Gravity wells charged and ready," reported the gelatinous alien, its form rippling with excitement or fear. It was hard to tell. "Nanobot swarms primed for launch," added another alien, this one resembling a sentient crystal formation. Chen took a deep breath, acutely aware that every eye, human and alien alike, was on her. "Initiate Operation Cosmic Funhouse," she ordered, allowing herself a small smile at the nickname. The effect was immediate and awe-inspiring. The gravity wells sprang to life, warping the very fabric of space-time around the Void Hunter fleet. Stars seemed to bend and twist, creating a disorienting kaleidoscope of light and shadow. The massive enemy ships, once so precise in their formations, began to falter and collide with their own distorted reflections. "Now," Chen shouted, "launch the nanobots." Streams of what looked like glittering stardust erupted from the station's launch bays, hurtling towards the disoriented Void Hunter fleet. As they made contact, the nanobots began their work, burrowing into hull plating and seeking out vital systems. The Void Hunters, their fearsome reputation crumbling before this unconventional assault, began to panic. Ships veered wildly, trying to escape the gravity maze only to find themselves more hopelessly entangled. Others fired blindly, their energy weapons passing harmlessly through holographic duplicates, or, worse, striking their own allies. In the command center, a cheer went up as the first Void Hunter ship went dark, its systems completely shut down by the nanobot infiltration. Then another fell silent, and another. "It's working," Zixcari exclaimed, his mandibles quivering with what might have been joy. "By the cosmic void, it's actually working." Chen allowed herself a moment of pride, but she knew the battle was far from over. "Keep the pressure on," she ordered. "Don't let them regroup or adapt." As the minutes ticked by, the tide of battle shifted dramatically. The once unstoppable Void Hunter fleet was reduced to a collection of drifting hulks, their fearsome weapons and impenetrable defenses rendered useless by a combination of gravity distortions and microscopic saboteurs. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the last Void Hunter ship fell silent. The command center erupted in cheers and alien equivalents thereof, tentacles waving, crystals chiming, and gelatinous forms jiggling with glee. Zixcari turned to Chen, his multiple eyes blinking in what she now recognized as an expression of respect. "Captain Chen, we owe you and your crew a debt that can never be repaid. You saved not just this outpost, but quite possibly the entire Confederation." Chen nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. "We're glad we could help, High Commander. But this victory belongs to all of us. Human ingenuity combined with Confederation technology. Imagine what we could accomplish if we worked together as true allies." The Grand Arbiter's energy form materialized in the center of the room, pulsing with an intensity that seemed to reflect the gravity of the situation. "Indeed, Captain Chen, your actions today have demonstrated that humanity has much to offer the galactic community. We were hasty in our initial judgment." As the implications of those words sank in, Chen felt a swell of pride for her crew, for humanity. They had come to the stars seeking knowledge and friendship, and against all odds, they had found both, along with a chance to shape the very future of the galaxy. "So," Chen said, a hint of a challenge in her voice, "shall we discuss humanity's place in the Confederation again? I think we have some new perspectives to bring to the table." The Grand Arbiter's form flickered in what might have been amusement. "Indeed we shall, Captain. Indeed we shall. But first, I believe we have much to learn from you about this. Thinking outside the box." As the aliens gathered around, eager to understand the human thought processes that had led to their unlikely victory, Chen couldn't help but smile. The journey that had begun with dismissal and near captivity had led to respect and alliance. And this, she knew, was only the beginning of humanity's grand adventure among the stars. The unthinkable alliance had been forged in the heat of battle, but its true test, and its greatest triumphs, still lay ahead. As Chen looked around at the mix of human and alien faces, she felt a surge of optimism. Together, they would face whatever challenges the universe had in store, armed with the unique strengths of both their cultures. The age of human isolation was over. The era of galactic cooperation had begun, human ingenuity unleashed. The aftermath of the Void Hunter attack left the Galactic Confederation reeling, but also buzzing with a newfound respect for their human allies. As the dust settled, Captain Sarah Chen and her crew found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of diplomatic activity, technological exchange, and strategic planning. The Grand Arbiter had convened an emergency session of the Confederation Council, and for the first time in galactic history, humans were invited to sit as equal members. As Chen took her place among the diverse alien representatives, she couldn't help but feel a sense of vertigo. Just days ago, they had been dismissed as primitive. Now they were hailed as saviors. Esteemed members of the Council, the Grand Arbiter's energy form pulsed as it addressed the Assembly. We face an unprecedented crisis. The Void Hunters have breached our deepest defenses, and our traditional methods have proven insufficient. It is time we embrace new perspectives, human perspectives. A ripple of murmurs swept through the chamber. Some aliens nodded in agreement, while others shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Change, it seemed, was difficult even for advanced civilizations. Chen stood, her voice steady as she addressed the council. Thank you, Grand Arbiter. Humanity is honored to join this esteemed body. We may be newcomers to the galactic stage, but we bring with us millennia of experience in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. Our history is one of constant adaptation, of finding strength in diversity, and of turning our greatest challenges into our most powerful assets. She paused, looking around the chamber. The Void Hunters believe they have the upper hand because of their advanced technology. But technology alone does not win wars. Strategy, creativity, and the ability to think beyond conventional boundaries, these are the true weapons that will determine the fate of our civilizations. As Chen spoke, holographic displays sprang to life around the chamber, showcasing some of humanity's greatest innovations and adaptations throughout history. From the first use of tools to the development of agriculture, from the Industrial Revolution to the digital age, the images told a story of relentless progress against all odds. We propose a new approach, Chen continued, her eyes blazing with determination. A fusion of Confederation technology with human ingenuity. We call it Project Prometheus, bringing the fire of innovation to light our way through the darkness of this conflict. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices, some excited, others skeptical. High Commander Zix Carey stepped forward, his mandibles clicking rapidly. And what exactly does this Project Prometheus entail, Captain Chen? Chen smiled, activating a holographic display of her own. I'm glad you asked, High Commander. Dr. Voss, if you would. Dr. Elara Voss stood, her eyes shining with the fervor of scientific discovery. Project Prometheus is based on 3 key principles: adaptive integration, swarm intelligence, and quantum entanglement manipulation. The holographic display shifted, showing a dizzying array of interconnected systems. First, adaptive integration. We propose creating a new class of ships and weapons that can rapidly evolve in real time, incorporating elements of both human and Confederation technology. Imagine hulls that can shift their molecular structure not just for defense, but to generate new offensive capabilities on the fly. The alien council members leaned forward, their attention captivated. Voss continued, Second, swarm intelligence. We'll take the concept of our nanobot attack to the next level. Billions of semi-autonomous drones, each the size of a dust particle, working in concert to form larger structures, disrupt enemy systems, or even create temporary wormholes for tactical advantages. The chamber buzzed with excitement, but it was the third principle that truly captured their imagination. Finally, quantum entanglement manipulation. We've observed that the Void Hunters use some form of quantum communication to coordinate their attacks. We propose developing a system to hijack these quantum links, not just for eavesdropping, but to feed false information or even directly manipulate their ship systems. As Voss concluded her presentation, the chamber fell silent for a moment before erupting into a frenzy of discussion. The Grand Arbiter's energy form pulsed brightly, silencing the commotion. This is most unconventional, but recent events have shown us the value of unconventional thinking. Captain Chen, how soon can Project Prometheus be implemented? Chen exchanged glances with her crew before responding. With the full resources of the Confederation behind us, we believe we can have the first prototypes ready within 3 solar cycles. High Commander Zixkari's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. 3 cycles? Impossible. Such innovations would take decades, if not centuries, to develop and test. Chen smiled, a glint of mischief in her eye. High Commander, with all due respect, that's because you're thinking like the Confederation. We're going to do this the human way, fast, dirty, and effective. What followed was a period of intense collaboration unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human scientists worked alongside alien engineers, breaking down the barriers of language and culture in pursuit of a common goal. The shipyards of a dozen worlds were repurposed, churning out prototypes at a pace that left even the most efficient Confederation factories in awe. As promised, 3 solar cycles later, the first fruits of Project Prometheus were unveiled. The CSS Firebrand, a hybrid vessel that incorporated the best of human and alien technology, stood ready for its maiden voyage. Its hull shimmered with nano-adaptive alloys, while its core pulsed with the power of a miniature star. Swarms of microscopic drones danced around it, ready to coalesce into whatever form the mission required. Chen stood on the bridge of the Firebrand, marveling at how far they had come in such a short time. The ship hummed with potential, its systems a harmony of human intuition and alien precision. As she prepared to address the crew, a mix of humans and various alien species, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and anticipation. "Attention all hands," she began, her voice carrying through the ship's advanced communication systems. "We stand at the threshold of a new era. The Firebrand is more than just a ship. It's a symbol of what we can achieve when we combine our strengths and overcome our differences." She paused, looking around at the diverse faces of her crew. The Void Hunters think they know what to expect from us. They believe their technology makes them invincible, but they've never faced anything like Project Prometheus. We're about to show them that the most powerful force in the universe isn't advanced weaponry or impenetrable shields. It's the indomitable spirit of sentient beings working together towards a common goal. As Chen finished her speech, an alert chimed through the ship. It was High Commander Zixkari, his image appearing on the main view screen. "Captain Chen, we've detected a Void Hunter scout ship near the Orion Nebula. This is your chance to prove the worth of Project Prometheus. Good hunting, and may the cosmic forces be with you." Chen nodded, a fierce determination settling over her features. "Understood, High Commander. Firebrand actual out." She turned to her crew, a gleam in her eye. "Well, you heard the man. Let's go introduce ourselves to the neighborhood bullies." As the Firebrand engaged its revolutionary propulsion system, tearing a hole in the fabric of space-time itself, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were about to put all their theories, all their innovations, to the ultimate test. The ship emerged from its quantum tunnel near the Orion Nebula, the swirling gases and newborn stars creating a breathtaking backdrop for the confrontation to come. It didn't take long to spot the Void Hunter scout ship, its obsidian hull almost invisible against the darkness of space. "Battle stations," Chen ordered, her voice calm but charged with energy. "Initiate Prometheus Protocol Alpha." The Firebrand's systems sprang to life in ways that defied conventional understanding of spacecraft operations. Its hull began to ripple and shift, adaptive nanomaterials reconfiguring to present an ever-changing target. Swarms of microdrones poured from hidden launch bays, forming a shimmering cloud around the ship. The Void Hunter vessel, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of this strange new ship, reacted with predictable aggression. It launched a barrage of quantum-tipped missiles, each capable of erasing a small moon from existence. But the Firebrand was ready. Its swarm of drones coalesced into a series of reflective surfaces, creating a labyrinth of false targets. The Void Hunter missiles, confused by the ever-shifting maze, detonated harmlessly in space. "Now it's our turn," Chen said, a fierce grin spreading across her face. "Initiate quantum entanglement hack." Dr. Voss's fingers flew across her console, initiating a sequence that would have been impossible just weeks ago. The Firebrand's quantum computers reached out across space, latching onto the subtle quantum communications of the Void Hunter ship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, chaos erupted on the enemy vessel. Its weapons systems turned inward, shields flickered and failed, and its engine core began to overload. The Void Hunters, for the first time in their long history of conquest, found themselves utterly outmatched and outmaneuvered. "They're powering up their jump drive," Lieutenant Kapoor reported, his voice tense with excitement. "Trying to escape." Chen nodded. "Not this time. Deploy the gravity anchors." From the Firebrand's bow, a series of specialized drones launched, each generating a localized gravity well that latched onto the Void Hunter ship. The enemy vessel shuddered, trapped in a web of artificial singularities. "Open a channel," Chen ordered. When the communication link was established, she addressed the Void Hunters directly. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the CSS Firebrand. Your ship is disabled, your weapons are offline, and you're not going anywhere. I suggest you surrender." For a long moment, there was silence. Then, a guttural voice responded, filled with a mixture of rage and disbelief. What are you?" Chen's smile was cold. "We're humanity. And we're here to let you know that the rules of the game have changed. The galaxy isn't your playground anymore." As the Void Hunter ship powered down, signaling its surrender, a cheer went up on the Firebrand's bridge. It was more than just a victory, it was proof of concept, a demonstration that Project Prometheus could turn the tide of the war. Chen knew that this was only the beginning. The Void Hunters would adapt, would bring more ships, would fight with increasing desperation. But for the first time since the conflict began, the Galactic Confederation had hope. Human ingenuity, combined with alien technology, had created something new, something powerful. As the Firebrand secured its prize and prepared to return to Confederation space, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. They had proven themselves in battle, yes, but the real challenge and the real adventure was just beginning. The age of human ingenuity unleashed upon the galaxy had dawned, and the universe would never be the same. The Quantum Nexus Gambit. The success of the CSS Firebrand had sent shockwaves through both the Galactic Confederation and the Void Hunter forces. As news of Project Prometheus spread, a new era of warfare and diplomacy began to unfold across the cosmos. Captain Sarah Chen found herself at the center of a galactic revolution, a name whispered with a mixture of awe and fear on 1,000 worlds. But the Void Hunters were not a force to be underestimated. Their response to the Firebrand's victory was swift and terrible. Entire star systems went dark as the enemy regrouped, mustering a force that threatened to eclipse anything the galaxy had seen before. In the heart of Confederation space, on a planet of living crystal called Harmonix Prime, the combined forces of humanity and their alien allies gathered for what might be their final stand. The CSS Firebrand, now joined by a fleet of similar hybrid vessels, orbited the glittering world like a swarm of metallic fireflies. Chen stood in the harmonic chamber, a vast auditorium carved from a single massive crystal. Holographic displays danced around her, showing the movements of both friendly and enemy forces. The room was filled with a mix of human and alien leaders, all looking to her for guidance. "The Void Hunters have adapted faster than we anticipated," Chen began, her voice echoing through the crystalline chamber. "They developed countermeasures to our quantum entanglement hacks and have found ways to disrupt our swarm intelligence networks." Murmurs of concern rippled through the assembled leaders. High Commander Zix-Kari stepped forward, his mandibles clicking nervously. "Then Project Prometheus has failed. Are we back where we started?" Chen shook her head, a fierce determination in her eyes. "No, High Commander, we haven't failed. We've simply reached the next stage of our evolution. The Void Hunters think they've caught up to us, but they're about to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, it's our ability to leap beyond conventional thinking." She gestured, and the holographic display shifted, showing a strange, swirling vortex of energy. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all designations, I present to you Operation Quantum Nexus." Dr. Ilara Voss stepped up, her eyes shining with the light of scientific breakthrough. "What you're looking at is a theoretical construct we're calling a quantum nexus. It's a point in space-time where multiple quantum realities converge. We believe the Void Hunters use something similar to coordinate their attacks across vast distances." Chen nodded, picking up the thread. "Our plan is not just to create our own quantum nexus, but to hijack the Void Hunters' network. We're going to turn their own cosmic infrastructure against them." The room erupted in a cacophony of voices, some excited, others skeptical. A being made entirely of swirling plasma floated forward, its voice a crackle of electricity. "But the energy requirements for such an endeavor, it would drain entire stars." "Exactly," Chen said with a grin. "That's why we're not going to create it. We're going to discover one that already exists. Dr. Voss, if you would." Voss nodded, expanding the holographic display. "We've detected unusual quantum fluctuations in a nearby star system. It's been largely ignored because it's on the edge of a massive black hole, making it too dangerous for conventional travel. But we believe this system houses a naturally occurring quantum nexus." Chen's eyes gleamed with excitement. "We're going to take the firebrand into the heart of that system, harness the power of the quantum nexus, and use it to rewrite the rules of this war." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. It was High Commander Zix-Kari who finally spoke, his voice a mix of awe and concern. "Captain Chen, what you're proposing, it's beyond reckless. It's practically suicidal." Chen smiled, a hint of mischief in her expression. "High Commander, with all due respect, that's exactly why it's going to work. The Void Hunters would never expect such a move. They think in terms of overwhelming force and technological superiority. We're going to show them that sometimes the boldest strategy is the one that seems the most insane." As the plan was fleshed out, a sense of nervous energy filled the harmonic chamber. This was more than a battle plan. It was a bet on the very nature of reality itself. If it worked, it could end the war in one stroke. If it failed, well, failure wasn't an option they could afford to consider. Preparations moved at a feverish pace. The CSS Firebrand underwent a series of radical modifications, its systems optimized to withstand the extreme conditions near the black hole and to interface with the quantum nexus. The ship's crew, a mix of the brightest minds from a dozen species, trained relentlessly for every possible scenario. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. As the Firebrand prepared to depart, Chen addressed her crew one last time. "What we're about to attempt goes beyond anything in the history of any of our civilizations. We're not just fighting for victory, we're fighting for the very future of reality itself. The Void Hunters think they've seen everything we can throw at them. Let's show them how wrong they are." With a flash of quantum energy, the Firebrand vanished from normal space, plunging into the treacherous realm near the massive black hole. The journey was a nightmare of gravitational forces and time dilation effects. Reality itself seemed to warp and twist around them as they drew closer to their target. "Quantum nexus detected," Dr. Voss called out, her voice strained with excitement and fear. It's beautiful." On the main view screen, a sight beyond imagination unfolded. The quantum nexus looked like a cosmic kaleidoscope, a swirling vortex of possibility where the laws of physics seemed more like gentle suggestions than hard rules. "Take us in," Chen ordered, her knuckles white as she gripped her command chair. "Full power to quantum stabilizers. Let's go fishing in the sea of probability." The firebrand plunged into the heart of the quantum nexus, its systems straining to maintain cohesion in a realm where reality itself was fluid. Chen felt a moment of vertigo as possibilities flashed before her eyes. Versions of herself that had made different choices, timelines where the war had gone differently, realities beyond imagination. "I've got a lock on the Void Hunter network," Vost shouted over the din of straining machinery. "Initiating quantum override now." For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like a tsunami of cosmic energy, information flooded the firebrand's systems. The ship bucked and heaved as it became a conduit for the entire Void Hunter communication network. "We're in," Chen called out, her voice filled with fierce joy. "Initiate Operation Reality Rewrite." With a series of carefully planned commands, the firebrand began to alter the very fabric of the Void Hunter's cosmic infrastructure. Across the galaxy, their ships began to malfunction, their weapons turned against them, and their carefully laid plans unraveled in cascading waves of chaos. But the strain on the firebrand was immense. Alarms blared as systems overloaded, and reality itself seemed to rebel against their intrusion. "We can't maintain this connection much longer," Voss warned, her hands flying over her console. "The ship is breaking apart at the quantum level." Chen gritted her teeth, knowing they were balancing on the knife edge between victory and annihilation. "Just a few more seconds," she urged. "We're almost there." With a final surge of effort, the firebrand completed its task. The Void Hunter network collapsed in on itself, their vast armada reduced to drifting hulks in an instant. But the backlash of energy threatened to tear the firebrand apart. "Emergency quantum jump," Chen ordered. "Get us out of here." In a blinding flash of light and a reality-bending lurch, the firebrand tore free from the quantum nexus. They emerged back in normal space, battered and on the verge of breaking apart, but victorious. As damage reports flooded in and the crew struggled to stabilize the ship, Chen allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. They had done it. Against all odds, they had rewritten the rules of warfare on a cosmic scale. The Void Hunters were defeated, their threat neutralized not by superior firepower, but by the audacious creativity of a species they had once dismissed as primitive. As news of their victory spread across the Galactic Confederation, Chen knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity had proven itself on the grandest stage imaginable. The age of quantum possibility had dawned, and with it, a new era of exploration, innovation, and cosmic harmony. As the CSS Firebrand limped home, battered but unbroken, Sarah Chen couldn't help but smile at the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. The universe, it seemed, had only just begun to reveal its wonders, and humanity, in all its brilliant, unpredictable glory, was ready to embrace them all. The cosmic paradigm shift. The defeat of the Void Hunters sent ripples across the fabric of the universe, forever altering the cosmic landscape. As the dust settled and the full implications of Operation Quantum Nexus became clear, Captain Sarah Chen and her crew found themselves at the epicenter of a galactic renaissance unlike anything in recorded history. The CSS Firebrand, now a living legend, docked at the newly constructed Nexus Prime Station, a massive structure that straddled the boundaries between normal space and the quantum realm. As Chen stepped off her ship, she was greeted by a sight that would have been unimaginable just months ago. Representatives from every corner of the Galactic Confederation, alongside emissaries from previously unknown civilizations, all gathered to witness the dawn of a new era. The Grand Arbiter's energy form pulsed with an intensity that seemed to illuminate the entire docking bay. Captain Chen, it intoned, its voice resonating on multiple frequencies simultaneously. Your actions have not just ended a war, you have unlocked the next stage of cosmic evolution. Chen nodded, feeling the weight of those words. Thank you, Grand Arbiter, but this is only the beginning. We've opened a door, now we need to figure out what lies beyond it. As if on cue, Dr. Ilara Voss rushed up, her eyes wild with excitement. Captain, you need to see this. The quantum nexus, it's not just a network, it's alive. Murmurs of astonishment ripple through the gathered crowd. Chen raised an eyebrow. Alive? What do you mean, Doctor? Voss activated a holographic display showing a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to pulse with its own rhythms. The nexus is exhibiting signs of sentience. It's not just a conduit for information, it's a form of cosmic consciousness that spans multiple dimensions and realities. The implications were staggering. Chen turned to the Grand Arbiter, whose energy form was flickering rapidly, a sign of intense emotion. Is this possible? Have we made contact with some kind of universal mind? Before the Arbiter could respond, a new voice echoed through the station, not through speakers, but directly into the minds of everyone present. It was a voice of infinite complexity, layered with harmonics that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of reality. Greetings, awakened ones, the voice said, its tone both ancient and newborn. We are the cosmic confluence, the living embodiment of quantum possibility. Your actions have stirred us from our eternal slumber. The assembled beings, human and alien alike, stood in stunned silence. Chen, ever the diplomat, stepped forward. On behalf of all sentient life, we welcome you. May I ask, what are you exactly? The voice seemed to chuckle, a sound like stars being born. We are everything and nothing, the sum of all possibilities and the canvas upon which reality is painted. Your species, in its beautiful recklessness, has pierced the veil that separated conscious life from the quantum substrate of existence itself. High Commander 6 Carey, his mandibles quivering with a mix of awe and fear, spoke up. But what does this mean for us? For the universe as we know it? It means, dear beings, that you stand on the threshold of a cosmic awakening, the confluence replied. The barriers between thought and reality, between the observer and the observed, are breaking down. You have the potential to become co-creators of the universe itself. Chen felt a shiver run down her spine. The implications were simultaneously thrilling and terrifying. And what role do you play in all this? She asked. We are guides, shepherds of possibility, the confluence answered. Through us, you may explore the infinite branches of reality, shaping existence itself with the power of conscious intention. But be warned, with great power comes great responsibility. As the confluence spoke, the very nature of Nexus Prime began to shift. Walls became permeable, gravity fluctuated, and glimpses of other realities bled through the fabric of space-time. It was as if the station itself was becoming a living interface between the known universe and the quantum realm. Chen turned to her crew, seeing the mix of wonder and apprehension on their faces. Well, folks, she said with a wry smile, I think we can officially say we've gone beyond the final frontier. Dr. Voss, her scientific mind racing with possibilities, spoke up. Captain, if what the confluence is saying is true, we're looking at the ability to manipulate reality on a fundamental level. We could solve energy crises, eliminate scarcity, maybe even reverse entropy itself, or unleash chaos beyond imagining. A crystalline being chimed in, its facets refracting light nervously. Chen nodded, acknowledging both perspectives. Which is why we need to approach this with caution and wisdom. We're not just explorers anymore, we're custodians of cosmic potential. The Grand Arbiter's energy form stabilized, taking on a more focused shape. Captain Chen speaks wisely. We must form a new council, not just of our known species, but of all sentient life across the multiverse. A cosmic conclave to guide us through this paradigm shift. As if in response to the Arbiter's words, new beings began to phase into existence around them. Entities of pure energy, crystalline intelligences, even beings that seemed to be living equations. The boundaries between different forms of life and consciousness were blurring, creating a tapestry of existence more diverse and beautiful than anything they had imagined. Chen felt a swell of emotion as she looked out at this gathering of cosmic life. This was why humanity had reached for the stars, not just for conquest or resources, but for moments like this. Moments of pure discovery, of expanding the very definition of what it meant to be alive and aware in the universe. So, she said, addressing the assembled beings and the cosmic confluence itself, where do we go from here? The voice of the confluence resonated through them all, filled with infinite possibility. Everywhere and everywhen, dear ones, the cosmos is no longer your playground. It is your canvas, your instrument, your reflection. The only limits are those of your imagination and your wisdom. As the implications of these words sank in, Chen realized that they stood at a crossroads of cosmic proportions. The war that had brought them here was just the beginning. Now they faced challenges and opportunities on a scale that defied comprehension. Would they use this new connection to the quantum realm to usher in an age of unparalleled peace and prosperity? Or would the temptation to reshape reality lead to conflicts that could tear the very fabric of existence apart? The answer, Chen realized, lay not in technology or even in the cosmic forces they had awakened. It lay in the hearts and minds of every sentient being, human, alien, and everything in between. Their capacity for wisdom, compassion, and wonder would be the guiding force in this new era of cosmic co-creation. As the cosmic conclave began to take shape around her, with beings from across the multiverse sharing insights and visions, Chen felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had ventured into the unknown, faced unimaginable challenges, and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The age of cosmic awakening had begun, and humanity, once dismissed as primitive, now stood at the forefront of a universal renaissance. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning. As Chen looked out at the swirling quantum energies that now permeated Nexus Prime, she smiled. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever wonders awaited discovery, one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again, and neither would they.